Okay, so that last video talked about logical operators that combine several different expressions, and those are just and or. So again, think about it like you would in the English language. If I wanted to maybe play a sound when in our photo liker app, for instance, maybe when you hit 20 likes and your number and your comments were greater than 10. Again, I'm just making up these conditions. Then I could say if likes equals 20 and number of comments is greater than 10, play a sound. Maybe I wanted to play that sound if only one of those was true. Then I could use or, which is the double lines, and I could say if likes equals 20 or number of comments is greater than 10. Okay, so then again, don't be overwhelmed by all of this today. We will go over it more when I'm back, but I want to give you all guys enough background to start to work through some of the code.org assignments. So now actually I'm going to show you guys, if you go into code.org, we're now on lesson 6. I want you, so we have skipped over lesson 5, again, because I've kind of taken care of that with these videos. But if you start with lesson 6, I want you to just look around at this, at the game, and you'll notice that if you want to play the game, and if you mouse over lemons and limes, it does some counting for you. And if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you can see where it has an if statement where when lives get less than 0, it stops playing. Okay, so if you, again, I want you all to look through this on your own, and you can see where, how the game is played. But when lives get less than 0, it stops. I think it asks you here to make it stops when it actually has 0 lives and not just less than 0. So all it's asking you to do here is go in and change this conditional. Instead of less than, it wants you to say less than or equal to. So if I move that out and change this to less than or equal to, I can say lives less than or equal to 0, and now it will stop playing when I get to, when the lives gets down to 0 instead of less than. So take a look at this code. Again, it should be something you can understand. And look at that if statement, okay? On the second one is what I want to talk to you a little bit about. The second one uses a conditional. It checks for lives less than 0 still, and it also talks about score mod 2, okay? What the mod means here, that parentheses there means mod. I'm sorry, the percentage sign means mod. And what mod represents is a new kind of math function that represents the remainder. So if we talk about mod, what mod does, it actually returns a remainder of a division statement. And you may be thinking, well, why would we ever need that? It's actually super cool. It's pretty useful. So what mod means is you divide the numbers. So let's say 3 mod 2 is how you would read the statement. So you want to think of how many times does 2 go into 3? 2 goes into 3 one time, right? And it has a remainder of 1. So when you were to do 3 mod 2, the answer would be a 1. For instance, if you did 17 mod 5, how many times does 5 go into 17? It goes in 3 times, which gives you 15, and has a remainder of 2. So 17 mod 5 returns 2. Okay? Now, how this is useful is how the code.org uses it. It's really useful to see if numbers are even or odd, or multiples of a given number. For instance, if all of these statements right here are all mod 2, and look what happens. 10 mod 2 gives us 0, right? Because 2 goes into 10 5 times with no remainder. 7 mod 2 would return a 1. 2 goes into 7 3 times with 1 remainder. 5 mod 2 would also return a 1. 2 goes into 5 twice with a remainder of 1. 8 mod 2 would return a 0. 2 goes into 8 an even amount of times, no remainder. 2 mod 2 would also return a 0, no remainder. We've already seen that 3 mod 2 would return a 1. So the pattern is even numbers have a mod 2 equal to 0. Odd numbers will have a mod 2 equal to 1. So we can use this to test for even or odd. We can even take it a little further and test for any multiples. If we wanted to find all the multiples of 3, we could have a number mod 3, and if it returns a 0, we would know that that number is a multiple of 3. Just like 15 mod 3, 3 goes into 15 5 times with no remainder. 8 mod 3, 8 is not a multiple of 3, and it would return a 2 here because it would have a remainder of 2. 10 mod 3 is not a 10 is not a multiple. It would return a 1. 100 mod 3 takes a little bit more thought, but it would also return a 1. So it's also helpful when finding multiples. Okay, so back on code.org, the next lesson 2 of this lesson asks you, it comes down here, at first it checks to see if you've collected an even amount of lemons or an odd amount of lemons, but it asks you to check and see if they've collected a multiple of 5 lemons. So all it's asking you to do here is go in and change that mod 2 to a mod 5. And that way when you've collected 10 or 15 or 5, 10, 15, 20 amount of lemons, it wants you to say you have collected an exact number of cups of lemon juice. Make that change of lemon juice. So it's helping you see how conditionals can be used to test for a variety of conditions. Or you can say your collection of lemons. Or you can say the amount of lemons you collected does not make an exact number. Exact number of cups of lemon juice. So again, I will talk more about this when I get back after fall break, but this is just plain making changes to see all the different uses of conditionals. So here we use an if statement to see if you've got any lives left. Here you've made a if statement to see if the amount of lemons you've collected is a multiple of 5. Okay? So what I'd like for you guys to do is try to work through the rest of these. Okay, you can help each other out. You can listen to these videos again. But do the best you can to just start investigating and exploring the use of conditionals. Okay, you'll be working on this one today, and then on Tuesday I'd like you to try getting into lesson 7 or finishing up lesson 6. Okay, but there again, don't be frustrated. I will help you when I get back, and also use your classmates. Everyone help each other with anyone who has questions. All right, thanks girls. Have a great fall break.